Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the problem solving with trigonometry notes. At the end of this, you should be able to say I can use the sine and cosine rules to solve real world type problems. All right, first things first. Example 7. Nicola measures the angle of elevation from a point on the ground to the top of the lanky lava lamp to be 38 degrees. She then walks 30 feet closer to the lamp and finds that the angle is 57 degrees. How tall is the lanky lava lamp? So we are trying to figure out what this is right here, right? How tall this thing is. Okay, so what we have is we have this measurement here and these measurements here. What we're trying to do is figure out what this is here. So what we can do is we can figure out what these other two angles of this triangle are, and then we can use this angle and this angle and this side to figure out what this side is. Once we know that side, we should be able to figure out that side. Okay, so this angle right here is going to be 180 minus 57, right? So that is going to give us 180 minus 57 gives us 123 degrees for this one right here. Okay, and then we know that these two together with this should equal 180 as well. So if we do 123 and 38, that gives us 161. If we take 161 away from 180, that gives us that this angle up here has to be 19 degrees. Okay, so now that we know that, we can, let's do this setup. We'll do sine of 19 over 30 is going to have to equal sine 38 over, we'll call that, we can't call it x, we got to call it, say, y, or something like that. So equals sine 38 over y. So this times this, divide by that, right? So let's see, we'll do 30 sine 38. Oops, too many in there. There we go. 30 sine 38 equals 18.46. Divide by sine of 19. Sine of 19 gives us 56.7 is what y is. So y 56.7. So this side length right here is 56.7 feet. Okay. So now just this triangle right here, we've got a right angle. We've got an angle measure here, and we want that side. So we would simply just use regular old SOHCAHTOA, right? Opposite and hypotenuse. So that would be sine of the angle 57 is the opposite side, which is x, over the hypotenuse, which is 56.7. Right? Multiply both sides by 56.7. 56.7, and we'll get what x is. Right? So we bring our calculator back up. And let's do this. 56.7 is already in there, so let's just do that sine. Oops. Clear. So we'll do second answer times sine 57. Right, and that gives us 47.57, so 47.6. So 40, I can't even remember what I said, 47.6, yeah, 47.6 feet tall is how long the lanky lava lamp will be. Okay, according to all of our lovely trigonometry that we just did. Okay, let's take a look at a second example, but before we do, let's take a quick little comedy break.
Those McDonald's fries are truly amazing, right? Has your mother ever made anything as good as a McDonald's fry? Not even close. We lie to ourselves when we eat McDonald's fries. We're like, oh, they're so thin, they couldn't be fattening. You ever eat too many McDonald's fries? Of course not! There's never enough of them. There's always that moment when you're eating McDonald's fries where you're like, what happened? Where'd they go? Then you start scrounging for the fry crumbs. You're like, Oh, that's just a piece of paper from the straw. But it was touching the fries, so.
All right. Let's take a look at a second and last example here. Okay. Anita looks down from the top of the Jolly Green Giant to the donut on the top of Sprout's head. So here's Anita the ant looking down at the donut on top of Sprout's head. Okay. Sorry, let's see. It's to the top of Sprout's head at an angle of 29 degrees. Okay, so this angle looking down is 29 degrees. Arnold looks up at an angle of 42 degrees. Here's Arnold. From the base of the Jolly Green Giant to the donut. How high above the ground is Anita if the donut is 28 feet above the ground? So first thing we want to do is we want to draw ourselves some lines on here to give us an idea of what's going on. So I'm going to magically draw that on here. So here's what we've got. So here's Anita. Here's the horizontal. So looking down at an angle of 29 degrees. So that means that this angle right here is 29. Okay. And then it says that Arnold is looking up at an angle of 42 degrees. And we know that the donut is 28 feet off of the ground. Okay. So we're trying to figure out how high is Anita off the ground. So really what we're doing is we're trying to figure out what this length is from here to here. Okay. So let's see what we can figure out. We know that's 28, that's 42. Let's see what we could do. Well, we know that we can figure out what this angle is right here because that's just going to be 90 minus 42, which is 48. Let's just figure out all the info that we can about this. So that's 48 degrees, right? And then if this is 29, let's see, we know that that would be 29. Ooh, let's do this. Let's see, I think it will help us out. Let's look. Okay, since that's 29, what we can really do is we can draw ourselves a nice little horizontal line right here. So if that's 29, we know that this is 29. And since these are also parallel lines, this 42 will go up here. So this is 42. So then if we take 29 plus 42, that gives us that this whole thing here is 71 degrees. Okay, and if that's 29, oh, we didn't even have to do that. We could have figured out an easier way. Sorry, because 29, we could have done 90 minus 29 to give us 61 degrees here as well. So this is 61 degrees. Can't really read that. Let's change that to a dark blue. 61 degrees right there. And that's 48. We could have done 180 minus those two would have given us this as well. But that's okay. We've got it figured out. So what we can do is if we can find out what this side length is here on this triangle, then we should be able to use law of sines to figure out what this side length is here. So we just need one length on this triangle, which could be this one right here. That's 28. This is 42. Opposite, and this is what we're looking for. That's x. Let's call this y. So we're trying to figure out this side here. So from this angle, 42, opposite and hypotenuse. So we would want to do sine 42 equals opposite, which is 28 over y. Multiply both sides by y. Well, really, let's do the nice easy way. If the y is, remember, if the variable's on the bottom, you just swap the two pieces here. So we get y equals 28 divided by sine 42. Okay, so 28 divided by sine 42, and we get 41.8 for this right here, 41.8 feet. Okay, so now we can use good old law of sines to set up our ratio here. So let's do this. So 61, sine 61 is to 41.8. So sine 61 is to 41.8 as, this is the side we're looking for, so we can do equals sine 71 is to x. All right, cross multiply those two, divide by the leftover one. So we already have the 41.8 in there, so 41.8 times sine 71 Gives us 39.56 divided by sine 61. Sine 61. And we get 42.23. So we'll call that the x 42.2 feet. So Anita is 42.2 feet above the ground on top of the Jolly Green Giant's head. Okay? All right. That's all there is for problem solving with trigonometry. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask in class. Thanks.